Hello there you guys, welcome to another of my live videos, and today I'm just going to be updating you on some more current transfer rumours and gossip. So if you do consider drop your likes, and if you do consider subscribe to the channel as always. So lots to talk about this current video, but the first topic of the development I'm going to give you an update on is in regards to AC Milan's Donarumma. Now reportedly Manchester United are identifying Donarumma as a possible replacement for David De Gea, and this actually came out of the media yesterday. Donarumma is only very young. He's only 20 years of age, so he has got a hell of a lot of development in him as Donarumma. As I said, he's 20 years of age, also very tall as well, which is very beneficial. And he actually, began his career with AC Milan, did Donarumma. I think making his debut at just the age of 16, of course, and he has done really well. I think he's made 163 appearances in all competitions for AC Milan, and I think he's kept about 58 clean sheets as Donarumma. So there has been talks about him going on. I think, maybe AC Milan would be willing to do business if Manchester United were to come up with a bid of around 50 odd million pounds. I think Donarumma has got, if I'm right, I think he extended his contract with AC Milan until 2024. So reportedly Manchester United have identified him as a replacement for David De Gea. So that was coming out in the media yesterday. So potentially I think it's not in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's plans, to actually buy a goalkeeper, to replace David De Gea, because obviously it looks very likely that David De Gea is going to be departing the club, and I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is intending on promoting Sergio Romero as our #1 goalkeeper for next season. But as I said, I don't know if Sergio Romero is reliable enough as yet to become our #1 goalkeeper, even though he did really well in the FA Cup games this season. Sergio Romero, obviously we've got the likes of Dean Henderson, obviously he's been on loan with Sheffield United as Dean Henderson, and I think we will monitor his progress. Obviously we've got the likes of Lee Grant as well, but I think he probably will be going. But yes, I don't think we intend on buying a goalkeeper to currently replace David De Gea. But it's looking likely anyway that David De Gea is going to be leaving the club. Obviously, PSG he's attracted interest, from PSG. Obviously Real Madrid have been long admirers of David De Gea, because reflecting back in 2015, Real Madrid were on the verge of getting David De Gea, but due to a fax machine, of course, the deal never materialised. But potentially it came out in the media the other day that Manchester United, offered that David De Gea had turned down a final contract off by Manchester United, and Manchester United have been in negotiations now to try and get David De Gea a contract at least for around a year and a half now, but obviously we haven't come to an agreement to get him one. I think it did say De Gea was demanding around £350,000 a week from Manchester United if he was willing to sign a new contract, if he was willing to commit his long-term future to the club, but reportedly Manchester United are not willing to meet his £350,000 a week wage demands. So it's been blatantly made clear that David De Gea will not be signing a new contract to Manchester United. Obviously Manchester United do want to cash in for De Gea this summer rather than letting go on a free transfer next year, because of course that would be a calamity. But PSG, of course, I'd say they are emerged as the front runners, to currently get David De Gea on the board. I think it did say PSG are preparing to put a bid in of around £60 million for him, and obviously we can get around £60 or £70 million for him this summer. Obviously we know he's worth more than that. Full value for the goalkeeper, he's worth around £100 million, because he's potentially the best goalkeeper in the world as David De Gea. But obviously we're not going to get £100 million because he's obviously in the final year of his deal. It did initially say that PSG are intending on getting him on a free transfer next year, so that could then tempt PSG to offer him a bigger salary, because obviously PSG I think have got their eye on their demands of their UEFA's financial fair play. Obviously PSG have spent big in the last couple of seasons on the likes of Mbappe and Neymar, who are the two most expensive players in the world. But yeah, we'd want to cash in for De Gea there this summer, but he has been a great servant to the club. He's been here 7-8 years now. He has made over 300 appearances in all competitions. He's won everything here domestically, including the Club's Player of the Year 4 times out of the last 6 years as David De Gea. And and I said he has made over 300 appearances in all competitions. Hasn't really done much wrong at Manchester United. Made quite a few costly mistakes towards the back end of the season, but I think that was mainly to do the contractual situation. But I think David De Gea, of course, wants to leave the club, and maybe a reason also why, apart from the contractual situation, why he wants to leave, because maybe a goalkeeper of his calibre wants to be playing in Champions League football, wants to be up there competing, of course, and we do know Manchester United cannot currently offer him this, and as I said, and so I do believe that David De Gea will be currently going. This has been another problem with Manchester United. We've been letting far too many players contracts run down. Juan Mata's coming to end of his deal, looks like he's going. Rashford's in the final year of his deal. Also too have let Ander Herrera go on a free transfer, but this was bad judgment for Manchester United. Giving Smalling and Jones a new long-term contracts, giving Ash Young a new 1-year extension. So I don't think initially Solskjaer is intending to buy a goalkeeper to replace De Gea. Gea. But there has been a few names who could actually, replace De Gea now. Donarumma's been run. Also, too, there's been talks of that Ajax goalkeeper, Andrea Onana. There's been talks about him. Obviously, 3 or 4 weeks ago, there was a lot of talks about John Blanc. Obviously, a while back, there was talks about Jordan Pickford. So, who should replace David De Gea at Manchester United? Because I do believe we need a replacement for David De Gea. Because I don't think Sergio Romero is reliable enough yet to become our number one goalkeeper, and that's from my own perspective. But looking at it will be beneficial for Manchester United because with cashing for De Gea, it will help us with our transition. It will help us with our rebuilding process as well. If we're cashing for likes of Pogba, it would be beneficial. We're cashing for likes of Lukaku, it will also be beneficial. But obviously, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer said he wants 4 signings by the 1st of July. He's clearly told Ed Woodward this, but he's looking to bring at least 5 new additions to the club because I do believe we need at least 5 players. We are expected to orchestrate a big summer clear out. Obviously, all the players that we do currently want to leave, we're not going to be able to address this problem in one window. It's going to take a couple of windows to currently address that problem. But he is getting a spending spree of around £250 million to spend his Solskjaer. Obviously, we want to get a director of football in before the start of next season, to change the structure of the club. And obviously, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is going to need backing. But obviously, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, as you all know, has worked out his transfer strategy for this summer. He wants to recommend a number of young players that could, have got great potential, that could come in, grow, develop, and emulate into superstars. But Solskjaer still believes, we can attract players to the highest level, even though we're not in a Champions League football for next season. But Solskjaer, I don't think he's not intending on bringing any short-term players to the club. But he did say towards the back end of the season, Solskjaer, that he had been contacted by a number of agents, saying that their players, do currently want to come to Manchester United. And this is what blatantly, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer said. We do potentially know that Manchester United have been playing catch-up for the last 5-6 years. Since Ferguson retired, we've been playing catch-up. And we do know a lot of money's been spent at the club. We've had different managers with different philosophies. I'd say about £700 million is being currently spent. So obviously, none on this squad is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So he's still in the process of rebuilding. Talking about Solskjaer, I don't know if he's the right man for Manchester United. I don't know if he's got the stature to command us in that position. But if this bad vein of form continues going on into next season, I will be critical of him, and I will currently want Ole Gunnar Solskjaer out. Maybe some Man United fans says we're giving it too early, and maybe we should have waited till this point, to ever give him the job on a full-time basis or not. But potentially he hasn't got the managerial experience, not to the highest level, hasn't really won much, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I know he watched some of this team at this day and age, grow and develop, when he was managing the Manchester United reserve team, but obviously, none on this squad is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He had the experience of a player, did Solskjaer, but he hasn't, this is it, he hasn't really got it as a manager, of course. But as I said, we haven't got the structure, to keep sacking managers. We've already sacked 3, of course, since Alex Ferguson retired. But regardless of who our manager is, we're never going to achieve, what we currently achieved under Alex Ferguson for 20 odd years, especially in terms of silverware. But as I did currently say, I think at least in the next couple of years, our aspirations is going to be fighting for that top 4, of course. But it's important that we get the right recruitment this summer, because analysing our recruitment policy is extremely very, very poor. But you can identify the areas where Manchester United are lacking, where Manchester United are lacking. You can see the deficiencies in the squad, and we've got to resolve these problems in the summer. But yeah, players are expected to leave. I think maybe up to around 4 players could leave, maybe 4 or 5 new players, could come in. But Solskjaer's told Ed Woodward he wants 4 signings done by the July the 1st, of course. But yeah, that's the latest news to update you on in regards of what's going on with Donarumma and all that. So, talking about De Ligt, as I updated you on yesterday about De Ligt. So, good news actually, was coming out in regards to De Ligt yesterday. So, it did say Manchester United are willing to offer, have come up with an improved offer for De Ligt. Because we do know that Barcelona have been a monster, the favourites, to currently get the pursuit of the player. And I think De Ligt is, from his own perspective, made an admission saying his preferred destination, would be Barcelona. So, we do know the likes of my club Manchester United, Barcelona, and of course Liverpool and Manchester City, all that have all inquired about De Ligt's current services. So it's more than likely he's definitely going to be leaving Ajax is De Ligt. So it came out yesterday in the press saying that Man United come up with an improved offer for De Ligt, to convince him to make the move to Old Trafford. So I think now Man United are willing to offer him around over £12 million a year. That equates to around £240,000 a week. Well, something like that anywhere. And this is reportedly a figure that Barcelona are not prepared to currently meet. So now reportedly his supposed move to Barcelona has currently hit a stumbling block. So Man United are willing to offer him over £12 million a year, which equates to around £240,000 a week, to try and get him to Old Trafford. Reflecting back a couple of weeks ago, I think, he said Manchester United offered him a contract worth around £12 million a year, but reportedly De Ligt had currently turned this down. But I do believe it'd be the right solution for Manchester United, De Ligt, if he was to come in. Obviously, we're in search for the central defender. Obviously, he's a centre-back. He's also very tall as well, which is very, very beneficial. Also got a hell of a lot of development in him as De Ligt. But I think he's initially valued at around £65 million, and that is the quoted fee. Obviously, we've got the financial power to meet De Ligt's valuation, of course. He's only 19 years of age. Obviously, being an Ajax player since the age of 8, age of 9 so far, has spent the entirety of his career with Ajax. But yeah, he has been on Manchester United's agenda because we need someone that can go alongside Victor Lindelof. And initially, I think we need two central defenders, to be quite honest with you, because we have got problems defensively. But I think, De Ligt would be absolutely fantastic. I think it would take his career to the next level if he came to the Premier League. But De Ligt, can leave Ajax, with his head held up high. Obviously, Ajax, winning the domestic double this season for the first time in 17 years. Also progressing to the Champions League semi-final, what, De Ligt also scored in that game. And also to winning the Eredivisie title for the first time in 5 years. Of course, so Ajax have had a really, really good season. But, Edwin van der Sar, who's currently the CEO of Ajax, he came out quite a few weeks ago, and he did basically say, he came out quite a few weeks ago, and he basically said, did Edwin van der Sar, he's convinced that, De Ligt will leave, and he'll either make the move to England or Spain. But I'd probably still say, Barcelona were the front runners. I don't now with Man United coming up with this improved offer, maybe now they're not the front runners Barcelona. But I still think De Ligt is intending on going to Barcelona. I think the main reason why De Ligt wants to go to Barcelona, because obviously, Frankie de Jong's going to Barcelona, and maybe he wants to reunite with his current teammate, because obviously Barcelona have already agreed around a £75 million fee, £75 million with Ajax, for Frankie de Jong. So maybe De Ligt wants to currently reunite with him. Liverpool had been in for him as well. Liverpool inquired about getting him. Obviously, I think the main reason why Liverpool were interested, because Virgil van Dijk and De Ligt know each other really, really well. They're both Dutch. They're both playing the Netherlands national team. So I do believe now, according to what reports I've seen, that he's moved to Manchester United, could actually happen now, and it would be absolutely fantastic. As I said, 19 years of age. I think he became more of a first team starter in Ajax's squad, when Davinson Sanchez got sold to Tottenham, back in 2017, and he has become an integral part of Ajax's squad. But yeah, I do really, really like him indeed. And as I give you the news yesterday of what was going on in regards to Romelu Lukaku, now it did come out saying that Inter Milan have obviously expressed their interest in Romelu Lukaku. So now potentially it did say that Inter Milan were willing to offer, this is according to the Italian press, that Inter Milan were willing to offer £30 million plus Ivan Perisic, to get their pursuit of Romelu Lukaku. So it did say they're willing to offer Ivan Perisic as well as £30 million. And this could be beneficial for Manchester United, but there again, we're not intending on bringing any short-term players to the club. Obviously, Ivan Perisic has been on Manchester United's agenda, for quite a long time. But obviously now Ivan Perisic is aging up. But he has done well at Inter Milan, as Ivan Perisic. I can't remember how old he is. He's about 29 or 30 years of age. Was heavily linked to him under the Jose Mourinho era. Ivan Perisic, I think we had a couple of bids turned down for him, of course. I think initially at the time Inter Milan were demanding that they wanted around £48 million for him, but reportedly Manchester United were not willing to pay up to £48 million for him. This is why, of course, the deal never materialised. But initially we'd want to recoup the initial £75 million, that we did currently pay for Lukaku, because he's one of the favourable players that's going to be departing the club this summer. Obviously, he's enjoyed a difficult time this season as Lukaku, because obviously, he's obviously we know Rashford's been first choice ahead of him, so he has been playing second fiddle to Marcus Rashford. But Lukaku, as I said, I just don't think he's got the capabilities, to play to the highest level. Of course, he hasn't got it, Lukaku. And when it comes to him playing the big teams, he is a big game bottler. And as I said, his first touch, really, really concerns me. He's scored 27 goals in all competitions in his first season with Manchester United. He's well Premier League proven. As I said, his pedigree in the Premier League is very, very good. Is Lukaku's, because he has scored a lot of goals. He's still 25 years of age, still got a hell of a lot of development in him. But as I said, he's too slow. I've got strong reservations about him. He doesn't have that endless potential. His finishing's not that good. He can perform a bit better, when he's getting that support up front, Lukaku, and he can look a bit more effective. But I think it would be beneficial if we get rid of him. So Man United willing to accept this offer from Inter Milan, £30 million plus Ivan Perisic as part of the deal. I don't know, to be quite honest with you. But yeah, as I said, Lukaku's still got a lot of years ahead of him. But Manchester United paid big money for him, paid £75 million for him, plus 15 million in add-ons, which had risen the deal to £90 million. He's still got 3 years left on his contract, and he's on about £250,000 a week. Lukaku's agent had revealed a while back, though, that his future is very, very open, of course. So that's just a prime example. That is just a prime example. Always spending big on players, always getting them Galactico players, doesn't always, guarantee you success, and doesn't always get you in that commanding position. So there has been people saying, we should be sensible with our recruitment this summer, because as I said, there's quite a few players on our agenda, that is available for a reasonable figure, of course. So yeah, and so I think Lukaku, could be on his way out of the club, which is actually good news, because I don't want Lukaku Manchester United. Now I think we'll look to recoup the initial £75 million we did pay for him. Talking about, Juan Mata, looks like Juan Mata is going to be leaving Manchester United. Obviously, we failed to agree a contract term extension for Juan Mata, and I'd like Juan Mata, to stay at Manchester United at least for another season, if I'm going to be quite honest with you, because I think Juan Mata has been, very, very consistent for Manchester United. I know now initially doesn't get in the team. Obviously, he's a squad player now, is Juan Mata. Obviously, he's aging up. He's 31 years of age. He has lost that yard of pace as Juan Mata. He did play a couple of games towards the back end of the season, of course. He fulfilling that number 10 role, where he did perform quite well, Juan Mata. But I think potentially it does say now Newcastle have showed their interest in Juan Mata. So reportedly Rafa Benitez wants to sign Juan Mata. It remains uncertain whether Rafa Benitez is still going to be at Newcastle next season. But reportedly Rafa Benitez is interested in signing Juan Mata. Obviously, Juan Mata's played under Rafa Benitez, during his time with Chelsea. So maybe Rafa Benitez, may be keen on reuniting with the player. Juan Mata, of course, has been at Manchester United 5 seasons. Of course, he's been very, very good. He's made over 200 appearances for the club in all competitions as Juan Mata. He's done really, really well. He's had years and years of experience in the Premier League. I think he's been in the Premier League about 8 years now. Obviously, this was including his 2.5 and 3 years he had with Chelsea when he was younger. But I think also Barcelona have been in talks of getting Juan Mata on a free transfer. And maybe from Juan Mata's perspective, he may be intending on making a return to Spain, because obviously he's Spanish himself, had a lot of experience playing in Spain when he was younger. Juan Mata with the likes of Real Madrid, where he began his career, had 4 years with Valencia when he played under Unai Emery. And obviously Barcelona, if Barcelona get him, they're not going to see him as a replacement for Messi or out. He's just going to be used as a squad player. Is Juan Mata. So it's looking very, very likely that Juan Mata, of course, is going to be leaving the club. I think Man United will link off him around a 1 year extension, something like that. Obviously, we're not going to offer him a long-term contract. Looking at that, he's 31 years of age. Is Juan Mata. But potentially, there's a lot of people saying that Manchester United, do need a striker, especially if Lukaku, does currently leave the club. I do believe that we do currently need a striker, because the likes of Rashford, Martial, obviously, haven't graduated to that level yet, and it's going to take him a couple of years, to get into that level, where they do currently want to be, because we haven't been ruthless enough in front of goal, we haven't been scoring enough goals, we haven't been creative enough in the final third of the pitch, and I do believe we need to get someone in that can currently score goals for Manchester United. So there has been quite a few forwards mentioned, of course. There has been talks of Juventus' Paulo Dybala, as you well know. It reportedly said that Man United have been in talks with Juventus now, for over a month, over potentially, getting a deal over the line for Paulo Dybala. But it recently got suggested out that Paulo Dybala's agent and his brother came out saying that he has suggested out that Dybala, he could leave Juventus this summer. So this is what his agent and brother currently said. Don't get me wrong, I have got strong reservations about Paulo Dybala. I think it came out quite a few weeks back that he was in London, allegedly, Paulo Dybala. Manchester United have been in talks with Juventus, to try and get a deal over the line for him. I think the quoted fee was around £85 million. But Dybala's still 25 years of age. Obviously, he has served 4 years with Juventus. He's won 4 Serie A's and 3 Coppa Italians. But we haven't seen the best of him this season, because obviously since the arrival of Cristiano Ronaldo, he's found game time very, very difficult as Paulo Dybala. But I've got reservations about him when it comes to some of his touches, some of his defensive, when it comes to his defensive abilities, I've got concerns about Dybala. But if he was to come to Manchester United and get us them goals that we do need, whilst he was adapting other areas of his game, that would be potentially good enough, of course. But yeah, there has been talks about him. So obviously, would identify Paul Dybala as a potential replacement for Romelu Lukaku. But if he came to the Premier League, can he exceed expectation levels in the Premier League? Has he got the capabilities? Has he got the attributes, to succeed in the Premier League. And don't get me wrong, he's a very, very good player, and I've seen glimpses of his best form in his 4 years with Juventus, of course, but I haven't really, seen much of it this season. But I don't know if he would be the right solution for Manchester United, where Paul Dybala. So there has been talks about him, currently going on. As you all know, it came out in the media, was it yesterday, in regards to Pedro from Fluminense. Now, reportedly did say Man United had made contact with Fluminense over the potential move for Pedro. Pedro is a centre forward. He's only 21 years of age, so he is very, very young. Got a hell of a lot of development in him. Don't really know much about this Pedro, if I'm going to be quite honest with you. But he did say Man United have made initial contact with Fluminense over the potential move for the player. Obviously, he did confirm that Fluminense are not willing to sell him up until after their presidential election, which I think is on the 8th of June. It actually said going back last year, Real Madrid were on the verge of getting Pedro, but due to a serious knee ligament injury he currently sustained, his move to Real Madrid currently never materialised. So I don't really know much about this player, if I'm going to be quite honest with you, but he is 21 years of age. I think initially rated at around £25 million. But yeah, so Manchester United have reportedly showed an interest in Pedro. I think he's been in Fluminense's senior squad for about 3 years now, because obviously he made his senior debut 3 years ago. So he's also been currently mentioned in the media. Now, obviously, as we all do know, a while back there was a lot of talks about Inter Milan's Mario Icardi, and obviously he's a current forward, is Icardi. Now, I really, really like Mario Icardi, and I think a while back, as I think I updated you, obviously the Italian journalist Damasio, he did say this was a while back now that Manchester United could swap Lukaku for Icardi this summer, and I do listen to a lot of what Damasio says, because he's a very, very respectful journalist, very reliable journalist, especially when it comes in relation to Manchester United, and then when it does come to transfers, he's very, very reliable. He's Damasio, so he currently revealed this story quite a while back. United could swap Lukaku for Icardi this summer, but Icardi has been on Manchester United's agenda. I think he's a really, really good player. I think he's now 26 years of age. Is Icardi obviously has spent the majority of his career with Inter Milan, as you all know. I think since he's gone to Inter Milan, he's obviously scored over 100 odd goals. Is Icardi, so he can score goals. Can Icardi? I think he's an efficient finisher. He's got that endless potential. As Icardi, and I think he'd succeed in the Premier League. With Icardi. I think his initial release clause is around £100 million, if I'm right, in his deal with Inter Milan or something like that. He's currently Inter Milan's 9th highest top goal scorer of all time, as Icardi. But he has been at Inter Milan now 6 years, of course, as Icardi. But yeah, he has been on Manchester United's agenda. So I do believe he'd be the right solution for Manchester United. I think he'd bring us them goals that we do currently need, and I think he'd produce and deliver the same element of the performances that he has been doing in his number of years in Italy with Inter Milan if he was to currently come to the Premier League. So I do believe he would tear the Premier League apart, Icardi. And Icardi, as I said, is 26, so he has still got a hell of a lot of development in him as Icardi. Obviously, he's a former Sampdoria player, where I think he only spent 1 season. Initially, as well, graduated from Barcelona's youth system, did Icardi. So would you like him as a replacement for Romelu Lukaku? And obviously there's been other names mentioned. We do know there's been talks of Anton Greizeman. Who would you take out of Icardi and Anton Greizeman? And that's actually a difficult one, to be quite honest with you, because I like both players. I really, really like Anton Greizeman. I don't think he's the fundamental player Greizeman as he was, he was a couple of seasons ago. But I think, Griezmann's still got a hell of a lot of goals in him. I think he scored about 133 goals in 256 appearances for Atletico Madrid in all competitions. I think it's looking likely he's going to be making the move to Barcelona. Is Greizeman. Obviously, his initial release clause is around 170 odd million pounds in his deal with Atletico Madrid. But I think this is set to be reduced. In July. So his release clause is going to reduce by about 60 odd million pounds. So it will reduce to around 105 million pounds. I think, or something like that. This summer with his release clause. Obviously, looking at it, Greizeman was on the verge of joining Barcelona last summer. He was on the verge of joining Barcelona last summer, but obviously committed his future, with Atletico Madrid by signing a new long-term contract. So he's under contract with Atletico Madrid until 2023. Obviously, it came out the other week that he's obviously announced, he's told Atletico Madrid, and he's announced that he's currently going to be leaving. So he's definitely leaving. But it looks to me like it's going to be likely that he's going to be making the move to Barcelona. I think Greizeman now is 28 years of age. I think there has been quite a few teams that have monitored their interest in Greizeman. Going back a couple of years ago, Manchester United were on the verge of landing Anton Greizeman. Greizeman. But obviously, due to Athletic Madrid's transfer ban they got, our move for Greizeman, currently never materialised, and that's what stopped us, getting Antoine Greizeman at that point. But Antoine Greizeman, as I said, he's still got quite a lot of years ahead of him. Obviously, as I said at the time, when we were on the verge of getting Greizeman, obviously, we had number 7 vacant, and we're looking for someone, to fulfil that number 7 role. And obviously, Greizeman was going to be the player, but due to the transfer ban, we never got him. Obviously, he spent the entirety of his career in Spain so far. Obviously, he's been at Athletic Madrid about 5 seasons now. I think the only major honour he has won is the Europa League, and I think he's also won the UEFA Super Cup. Obviously, he's a former Real Sociedad player, is Antoine Greizeman. So maybe he does want to take maybe his career to the next level, maybe come to the Premier League or something like that. If he goes to Barcelona, obviously he's going to be continuing applying his trade in Spain. So what I've seen, it still will be looking like that he's going to Barcelona. I think he did initially say that he was set to earn around £15 million a year at Barcelona. Barcelona willing to offer him a contract up until 2024, as it did initially say. So I think he's still probably, his heart is set on a move to Barcelona. But would Greizeman be the right player for Manchester United? To be quite honest with you, I don't think he's much better than Paulo Dybala, and that's saying something. As I said, I have got some reservations about Paulo Dybala. So there's quite a few, attackers, that we've showed an interest in, because I do believe that we do currently need one. Obviously as well, talking about, Jadon Sancho from Borussia Dortmund. Now, talking about Jadon Sancho, I don't see us getting a deal over the line for Jadon Sancho this summer. Not this summer, anyway, maybe perhaps sometime in the future, but not this summer. Some Manchester United fans are actually now convinced that we can get a deal over that Manchester United fans, are convinced, that the Jadon Sancho summer transfer is back on, because obviously, Borussia Dortmund have signed Thorgan Hazard and Julian Brandt, however you pronounce his name. Borussia Dortmund have announced these 2 signings. Now, this has put some Manchester United fans in meltdown, thinking that his summer transfer to Manchester United is still back on is Jadon Sancho's, but I don't see us getting a deal over the line for Jadon Sancho, based on our failure, reflecting on our failure, to get in a Champions League football for next season. And I'd love Jadon Sancho to come to Manchester United. He's the obvious candidate for that wing, is Jadon Sancho, only very, very young, only 19 years of age, has still got a hell of a lot of development in him, and he has flourished fantastically well at Borussia Dortmund. But I do believe if he made a return to the Premier League, it would help him with his developing process, it create a better platform for him, Jadon Sancho, and Manchester United were willing to pay his £100 million valuation, of course, because we've got the financial power, to currently meet his valuation. But like I said, guys, I don't see it, currently happening. I think he said he's intending to spend at least another season with Borussia Dortmund, is Jadon Sancho, and Borussia Dortmund are very, very convinced he will stay there. But looking at it from a financial point of view and from a Borussia Dortmund perspective, they'd make a huge profit on the player if they were willing to do business with him, because they got him for next to no from Man City. They only got him for around £7 or £8 million. I think that's what they paid for him from Manchester City. So he's had experience of playing in the Premier League with Man City, but never really got the chance with Man City, never guaranteed a starting place at Man City, and this is the main factor reason, why he left Man City, and of course went to Borussia Dortmund. But he has got a contract with Borussia Dortmund until 2022, but I think, Borussia Dortmund do know how much of an essential player Jadon Sancho is, so I don't see that currently happening. Updates on Daniel James from Swansea. Of course, as you all know, the news came out yesterday, what I'm reading up. Obviously, Daniel James, his father had currently passed away, so obviously, this had made Daniel James, withdraw from the Wales camp, of course. So now, obviously, he's moved to Manchester United, could be delayed for a little while, based on his, father passing away. But definitely, the move is still very, very imminent, of course. I think the fee has been agreed, some reports say the fee has been agreed, some reports say it hasn't been fully agreed yet. But I think the initial fee anyway is around £15 million. Obviously, definitely the personal terms and that have been agreed. So obviously, looking at it ultimately, is going to be our first signing this summer is Daniel James. Daniel James, and what I've seen of him, he looks a pretty decent player. Like I said, I've got some reservations about him when it comes to his defensive abilities. I've got some reservations about Daniel James. When it comes to him tracking back, I've got reservations about him. He's not very, very good in the air. But in terms of attacking intent, it looks pretty decent. He's really fast. He's He's got a lot of pace, same as Daniel James. He can also, score goals as well. But the question is, has he got the ability? Has he got the minerals, to make it to the highest level, Daniel James? And that is the question. And can he exceed expectation levels in the Premier League, Daniel James, because obviously he hasn't played to the highest level yet. Obviously, Brighton came in right at the final hurdle, but I think from his own perspective, Daniel James, he's blatantly made it clear he wants to make the move to Manchester United, as he's confirmed, and that is actually his preferred destination. He has still got a year left on his deal with Swansea. I think he's played over 30 odd games this season for Swansea as Daniel James, but looking like he's going to be our first signing. Obviously, as you all know, he's primarily a winger, is Daniel James, so he's supposed to be more effective from that left hand side. I think he can rotate him to the right, but I think he's supposed to be more effective on that left hand side. Is Daniel James. I think he can actually play as an attacking midfielder as well, if I'm right. But he's only 21. He's a Welsh international. He's still got a hell of a lot of development in him. So I think the move will be delayed, for a little bit longer, based on his father, passing away. Man United will give him a bit of time, to recover in that, and then obviously, we'll get the deal over the line. But I think it's initially around £15 million. If add-ons are included, it might rise it to around £20 million. But he's a surprise solution. He's a cheap acquisition, is Daniel James. So hopefully it can exceed expectation levels at Manchester United. And, talking about, as he updated you a couple of days ago, of in regards, of what was going on in regards to, the likes of Paul Pogba and all that. So reports initially came out saying that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was willing to offer, Paul Pogba the captain's armband. Solskjaer was willing to offer Paul Pogba the captain's armband, to come in a bid to convince him to stay at the club, reportedly. So now there has been a change of scenery here on this, because now reportedly Manchester United are only willing to offer him the vice captaincy. So I think the captaincy at Manchester United next season, as it has confirmed according to the media, will be given to Ashley Young with the captaincy. And obviously, Ashley Young is definitely one of the problematic players. He shouldn't even be at Manchester United next season, of course. But obviously, he's not going to be. I don't think he'll go in the summer, Ashley Young, and it was bad business, for Manchester United, giving Ashley Young that new 1 year extension, of course. So yeah, it's looking like he's going to be the captaincy for next season is going to be given to Ashley Young, obviously, because we do know that Antonio Valencia is leaving the club. Talking about Paul Pogba, I don't think us offering him the captaincy anywhere is going to be enough to convince him to stay at the club. I think Paul Pogba is intending on leaving Manchester United. I think he just got to put a transfer request in as Paul Pogba, to currently make his move to Real Madrid. Potentially Manchester United do not want to basically sell Paul Pogba, but I think if we are willing to do any business for him, I think they would demand around £140 million from him at least, and that is reportedly the quoted figure. Well, initially wanted around £150 million from him, or £160 million from him, but obviously Real Madrid are not willing to meet this current figure for Paul Pogba. But let's be honest, Paul Pogba has not exceeded expectation levels at Manchester United. He hasn't been the fundamental player as we all thought he would have been, of course, and reflecting back what he did at Juventus, because he did have 4 great years with Juventus. Obviously, we paid, as I said, £89 million for him. We only mainly saw the best of Paul Pogba, in that 3-month period, when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was the interim manager. We mainly saw the best of Paul Pogba, of course, when Ander Herrera was playing. So that just basically emphasised how much of an impact, Ander Herrera had currently made in that midfield. Had currently made in that midfield, because he used to free up Pogba. Pogba was expressing himself. Pogba was scoring goals. Paul Pogba was currently providing. And but Paul Pogba, as you all know, still got 3 years left on his contract with Manchester United, of course. Obviously, at least I'd say in the last 4 or 5 weeks that Paul Pogba's agent Riley Ola has been in the process, to try and secure him a move to Real Madrid, of course. I think Paul Pogba is also willing to take a pay cut, to make his move to Real Madrid, because initially he's 13 million a year wage demands, of course. This is his wage demands. This is what Real Madrid were not willing to currently meet. This is why he did say talks between Paul Pogba and Real Madrid had currently stalled. So yeah, I do believe he's currently going to be going. But Solskjaer came out a while back and said he still insists that Paul Pogba will be at Manchester United next season. Maybe one of the main reasons, well, a couple of reasons should I say, why he may wants to leave. Maybe a player of his calibre, wants to be in Champions League football, wants to be up there competing and winning trophies, and obviously he isn't getting this from Manchester United. And maybe another reason is maybe he wants to be playing monster better players, Paul Pogba. But he's 26, he's still in his prime. He has still got a lot of years ahead of him as Pogba. But obviously Zinedine Zidane's got a lot of players on his agenda this summer, but obviously he's identified his 2 main priority targets. Obviously Paul Pogba's one of them, and obviously Eden Hazard at Chelsea is another one of them, because I think these players that are expected, of course, to leave Real Madrid. But yeah, I still believe that Paul Pogba, of course, is going to believe in Manchester United. But if we can get around 120 or 130 million pounds over Paul Pogba, we could potentially get 2 players with that money. So if Pogba leaves, we're going to need 3 new additions in that current midfield, as you all know, guys. we're going to need 3 new additions in that midfield, if Paul Pogba leaves. But Paul Pogba, he was subjected to a lot of transfer speculation last year, and he was linked to a move away from Old Trafford, based on his poor relationship with Jose Mourinho. Obviously, Paul Pogba was linked with a move to Barcelona. He was also, linked to with his former club, Juventus. But yeah, I do believe he's going because recent reports have said that his relationship with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is slowly fading. So yeah, I do believe Paul Pogba is going to be going, and I do believe he's going to make his move to Real Madrid. And obviously we know that Manchester United need a right back, and obviously we need a replacement for Antonio Valencia. We need a replacement. We need an upgrader to Ashley Young. We need a cover up for Diego Dalot. And there has been a lot of talks about Wan-Bissaka going on. And now the young English fullback has been subjected to a lot of transfer speculation. Because obviously the likes of Tottenham have been interested in him. Obviously Manchester City have also been interested, in Wan-Bissaka. But yeah, he's one of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's prime targets. Is Wan-Bissaka, and I do really like Wan-Bissaka. I think he's regarded as the best, one of the best right backs in the Premier League, of course. Obviously got 3 years left on his contract with Crystal Palace. It did reportedly say that the other day, as he updated John, that Manchester United had submitted a bid of around £25 million for Wan-Bissaka. But obviously this figure's not going to be enough, nowhere near enough, to convince Crystal Palace to do any business with him. I think Crystal Palace want around 50 or 60 million pounds for Wan-Bissaka, and that is the quote. They are the quoted fees that Crystal Palace want for Wan-Bissaka. But he's only 21 years of age, has still got a hell of a lot of development in him, of course. Obviously, so far has spent the entirety of his career with Crystal Palace. Obviously, as I did say, only broke into the senior squad last year with Crystal Palace, so he's been in senior squad with them about 15 months now as Wan-Bissaka. But 21 years of age. Initially as a youngster was a winger, and then obviously later on got rotated to a right back. Wan-Bissaka. But yeah, Tottenham City have also been have inquired about his current services, of course. But yeah, he did come out a while back saying that he's fully committed to Crystal Palace. He's intending on spending at least another season with Palace. But I do believe he'd be fantastic in that right back position. Of course, I think he'd be the perfect successor to Valencia, and I think his defensive capabilities are also very good. So he's also on Manchester United's agenda. So yeah, that's mainly everything to currently update you with, of course. So there's a lot of players on Manchester United's agenda, but Solskjaer said to Ed Woodward he wants 4 signings by July the 1st, of course. I think he has named them 4 signings who he currently wants. I think also Nathan Collins is being mentioned as well. He also got mentioned in the media. Bev. Hiya. What? Staying where? Staying where? Here. Alright. But yeah, as I was saying, so Nathan Collins has also, been currently mentioned in the media. So yeah, there's a lot of players on our agenda, of course. But looking at, if we'd have got that top 4, it'd have been a fantastic achievement. Looking at the situation we was in, when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer first came to the club, because we was 11 points behind top 4. So it's a shame we're not in Champions League football for next season. But Solskjaer's made it clear, any players that we do sign this summer have got to fit the culture and, of course, the history of the club. So he's looking to buy him into our history as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, because you can see we have got cultural problems at the moment, of course, and we are a toxic club at the moment. But yeah, so that's mainly everything to update you on. So the main part of this video was to give you an update on about Donarumma from AC Milan. Reportedly Manchester United are identifying him as a possible replacement for David De Gea. 20 years of age, very tall, good shot stopper. Obviously made 163 appearances for Milan in all competitions, keeping about 58 clean sheets. So he doesn't really leak a lot of goals, does Donarumma, and he's got a lot of development in him. He's only 20 years of age. So yeah, there has been talks about Donarumma going on, but I think from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's preference, he's intending on promoting Sergio Romero as our #1 goalkeeper, rather than spending money on buying a new goalkeeper to replace David De Gea. So anyway, guys, drop your comments, slides below on the channel. If you do, consider a subscriber to the channel. As always, guys, and take care. God bless, and I'll see you again very soon. Thanks for watching.